Hello everyone, Jake here for FMSCOUT and welcome to another episode of Wonderkid to Superstar. Today's winter update Wonderkid can be signed for under a couple £1,000,000, he's not too hard to get hold of, and he can play for the biggest clubs at the highest of levels. What more could you want? Let's get right into it. Hello everyone, Jake here, and as I mentioned in that intro, we've got a top Wonderkid to show you today, someone who was boosted in the winter update and is now almost a must sign for the price that you can get him for. He represents such good value for money, and I think he's an amazing Wonderkid to pick up. Before we do go and take a look at this player, don't forget to like the video if you do enjoy it and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this kind of content. We do it on a fairly regular basis, so any of that support would be greatly appreciated, and let us know your rating for him out of 10 in the comments down below and who you'd like to see in future episodes of the series. So with that being said, let's go and take a look at this awesome player. So we're going to head to the Norwegian Premier Division, which is the best division in Norway, and you will find Strømgodset. In their ranks, you'll find the 18-year-old Norwegian Tobias Gulliksen. This is a player who can play both on the left-hand side on the wing if you want to use him as an inside forward or an inverted winger. He is good with both feet, but particularly with that right foot. However, we're going to be using him in this simulation in the Mezzala role, where he's also natural in the centre of the park, and I think it suits him quite nicely. Now, because of his upgrade in the winter update, he now has a potential range of 140 to 170, so as is the case with all of the videos we do in this series, if you sign this player and you get the worst version of him, you're still getting great value for money and a top draw player, but on the higher end you're getting a world beating kind of midfielder or winger, whatever you want to call him. But Tobias is a very good option at a measly price of anywhere under, in this save at least, and this is him at his maximum, they're only going to want 1.6 million at a max. As a bit of a test, I made another save and was able to pick him up for £1.2 million, so he's not the most pricey player in the world if you do have this team loaded in the game. Now for me, I had to add the Norwegian First Division as a playable league. Of course, you could just adjust your database and have players from Norway available, but when I had a save with just my playable league set to large database, he didn't appear, so I did have to add him in that way. So if you can't see him in your saves, that might be why. So he has been boosted in the winter update, and he starts off a very nice player with a lot of good, well-rounded attributes to build up from. Nothing too stand out, but nothing that would concern you too much either. His physicals are pretty decent in some areas, he's lacking in a couple of them, but at the age of 18, he's got plenty of time to grow. His mentals are nicely balanced, good determination, vision and work rate to build from, with great technique, passing, long shots, and a few other nice attributes sprinkled around. So stick with us in this video as I show you how we made him one of the best midfielders in the world, but first of all we need to transfer him over to our club and to Real Madrid. So now that we've brought Tobias over to our club, you can see we're using a 4-2-3-1 gegenpress as normal, with a few of the roles moved around, and we've got Gulliksen playing in that Mezzala role on the attack duty. Now that he's at Real Madrid, you can see his value has skyrocketed from what we paid for him, which is obviously what's going to happen when he moves to a bigger club, but it does show that he might be undervalued at his current club because, well, of the league he's in and the club he's at, he is worth a lot less because of where he is in his current form. In terms of his training, we're focusing in on that position of Mezzala attack for him to play in. We've got shooting set as his additional focus, and we have got him on double intensity as the intensity level. I'm not saying this is the best way to do it, but I've always used double intensity, and I'm keeping it on that just so that every player that we do in this series has a level playing field. Then he's being mentored by some of the more experienced heads at the club, your Modrics, your Toni Krooses, and the likes of that. But Tobias is ready to go. You're going to see him in a long simulation here. First of all, we'll show him on the lower end of his potential range, and then we'll see him in his prime and see how he does by the end of his career. So without further ado, let's head into our time machine and see how he looks in a few years' time. Okay, here we are, 2025. Tobias is now 21 years old, having spent 4 whole seasons at Real Madrid. And in a crazy turn of events really, Tobias has exceeded all expectation I had for him, and I'm about to show you why. So as you can see, Tobias is at a crazy level now already at the age of 21, valued at around £90 million, with plenty of caps for the Norwegian national team and 5 goals. He's a super consistent player, which was lucky in this save. I didn't edit that or anything like that. He just had consistency, so hopefully that's something that you lot will find in your saves as well, that he is quite a consistent performer, which really does help him in the match engine. But you can see he's developed into a crazy player. Now, I said I was going to show him here at the lower end of his potential range. I came back after 4 years at the club and figured he'd be getting around that level, because that tends to be the way that players go in these simulations. But in 4 years, he's already reached the maximum end of his potential range, so his career is going to be very fun to to watch from this point onwards. But just a few quick things to take notice of before we simulate a little further down the line and take a proper look at him is that physically he's grown very nicely, mentals have become very well rounded with great vision, but it's his long shots, his finishing has gone up a lot, and his technicals where he's shown the most improvement in my eyes, and then physicals to be honest have gone up a significant amount. On average, he's hitting around a 7.4 average match rate in a season, hitting 20 goal contributions a season, if not 25, even nearly 30 on some occasions, purely in the league alone. He's been doing a great job, has Tobias, and he's only going to get better. So let's take a look at him now when he's been settled into the team and he's been here for about 10 years. Okay, here we are, 2030. Tobias is 26 years old, in the prime of his career, but before we take a look at him, I'd like to let you guys know I do have my own channel linked in the description. If you could be an absolute legend, click it, check out any of the videos, see what you think, give it a like if you can and a subscribe if you do enjoy it. I'd greatly appreciate it. You never know, a lot of you guys have gone over there before and said you've really enjoyed it, so any support I would absolutely love. But Tobias Gullikson here has absolutely smashed it at Real Madrid. He is still a top draw player, now classed as a world-class midfielder with some great player traits, which if he didn't have these and didn't develop these, you could see his attributes being even better than this, because these player traits will have taken up at least some of his current ability. As he is aged, his personality has turned to model professional, and he's a much loved player now at Real Madrid. He's great physically, quick, balanced, with a lot of stamina, strength, pace and natural fitness. Mentally, there's not a flaw on the guy, and he's got great off the ball and vision and decision making and composure. These things are really going to help him in terms of getting numbers, scoring goals, getting assists from that midfield position. Don't get me wrong, he could be even better on the wing. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use him as a winger. I just thought, I like him as a Mazzala. I think he'll do a good job here. And he certainly has done exactly that. This man has great long shots, technique, passing, with some good finishing and dribbling and first touch and all that good stuff. He can do a bit of defending as well, so he's not completely terrible in those areas, so it's not like you're hindering your side by having him in your midfield. But how has he done on the pitch? Well, he's 26 years old here, it's 2030, so he has played 9 seasons, I believe, at Real Madrid now, and as you can see, I don't need to read out every number for you to know that he is doing awesome, pretty much getting 7.5 average match ratings, not just on average, but he's actually reaching that for the last 5 or 6 years consistently, sometimes going even higher. Roughly 30 goal contributions a season in the league alone. Tobias has certainly been worth that £1 million that we paid for him from Strongod set out in Norway from the start, and he has done so well, but we've actually got a simulation where he's a bit further down the line, so I'll quickly hop over to that one to see if he keeps up this great form. And here we go, 30-34 now. Tobias is 30 years old and he's still kept it up, if not getting even better and even more consistent over the years. 30 goal contributions a season is a regular for this man from midfield. He's one of the most influential players in world football, and for this Real Madrid team, he has been amazing. You might have seen that originally we had him as a 4.5-star player, and now he's only 4-star. That's just because star rating is so variable, it will be based on other players at the club too, so the more regens that are coming in, the worse Tobias will look in comparison. But he now has over 100 caps for the Norwegian national team, scoring a goal every 4 games for them. Who knows how many assists he's racking up to. If we do go and have a final check though of any of his milestones, any of his awards, has he won anything? He's been in the World Team of the Year, he's been World Footballer of the Year on this occasion in 2033, so it's a good job we kept it going. Since the winter update, I haven't actually fixed the real name thing that you have to do to make sure the real names keep working, so this could be the Ballon d'Or, I'm not too sure, but at least it is showing that he is one of the best players in the world in this current period, up there with your Mbappes and your Haalands, even though they're getting on in age. And we can see that consistently he's been in the World Team of the Year, he's been one of the best midfielders, if not the best midfielder in world football, and to say that you can get him for £1 million is a complete bargain. Even if he doesn't turn into this kind of player, he's still certainly worth the money. Let me know what you think of Tobias in the comments down below. I'm giving him a 9.5 out of 10 just because at 18 his attributes don't look as good as some other players at that age, but he has really developed and kicked on in this simulation here. Let me know what you think down below, like the video if you did enjoy, and finally, if you want to check out my channel in the description, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.